it's Bam, and I'm going to be talking about, I guess, how I got here, how I became a mother, the backstory on the father, and, the whole journey. So this is going to, of course, be broken up in parts because there's just no way that I can fit all of it in less than 15 minutes. So, oh yeah, and I was recording on my mic, but for some reason, I don't really know how to work GarageBand. So, this is my recording because things need to get done. No excuses. So, I'm going to start off by saying I have 2 children. One is Roa. His name is Roa, and he's 5. I have a 1-year-old. Well, he's really like 1.5, almost 2. His name is Maddox. Both of them are from 2 different men, 2 different points in life and time. And I'm going to be talking about Roa's father. So I guess I should start kind of at the beginning. And I would say we met when I was 17, maybe 16, probably 16, because I was still in high school. And I really wasn't paying him no mind because I was fixated on somebody else. And he wasn't my type. Like, he was from just a different type of life. And yeah, so I wasn't paying him no mind. Didn't find him attractive, none of that. My friend at the time was dating his brother. And this was Uvo time. So if any of y'all know what Uvo is, we would be on Uvo all day, every day after school because, yeah, I had to be 16 because I was a junior or a senior. One of the, and my schedule was lighter than the average junior at that time. So we would be home early and we would just be on Uvo. So she would be on Uvo with her boo, which was his brother, and he would be there because they lived together. So he saw me a couple times on Uvo, and he told his brother to tell her that he basically wanted to talk to me. Curved it, dubbed it, spoke on the phone on Uvo for like a hot second. I was like, not really feeling him. He's not cute to me. Fast forward, somehow we start talking like a year later because my friend is not dating his brother anymore. We start talking a year later. I guess I find him attractive now. I'm interested. Things start to like go somewhere. And he's like, oh, come over. Like my mom. Basically, everybody's going to be out the house. So this, of course, I was 17 now. I was having sex around this time. So I already kind of knew like the vibe. But like I said, I wasn't thinking of him as a boyfriend. Like, that just wasn't. Or somebody, you know what I mean? Y'all know what I mean. I wasn't thinking of him in that way. So I was just like, let me go hang out with him. We never really hung out before. So let me just see what he's about. Like, let me see. So I go over there. I think, did I meet his mother? Yeah, I met his mother for like a hot second. Because she was leaving out. His brother was gone. Everybody was gone. So it was just me and him in the house. We chilling. Things happen. We're actually having an okay time. Then things happen or whatever. So after that, I'm like, all right, Sade, you already know what time it is. Like, this is the first time hanging out. Y'all had sex, so it's a dub. He's quiet. Like, you're going to chuck that up to the game and keep it pushing. So I left, and he was still into me or whatever. I left. He was like, oh, text me when you get home. Just like, all right, cool, whatever. But like, dudes be saying that just to say that. So I wasn't really thinking anything of it. And I already had him in my head, like, sis, you did what you did, so like move on. Like, that's it. So I'm walking back to my building. I only live 2 stops away from him on the 2 train. I lived on 135th. He lives on 3rd Ave, that stop, but like 2 blocks away from the train. So I'm walking home. He calls me like, oh, why you didn't tell me you got home? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I told you to text me when you got home, make sure you was okay. I'm like, okay, but like, we did what we did, so I wasn't really thinking about it. Like, I didn't think that you was still interested. You feel me? Like, we had our fun, and let's keep pushing. Because he always made it known, like, he wanted to be with me. And I was just like, nah. Then, fast forward. So, obviously, something happened that day to where I was like, oh, let me try him out. Like I said, he's not from the same side of the tracks as me. Like, not saying that he was like a street dude, but like, he just was of a different lifestyle. Like, his family was very different from mine. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I was very sheltered. I was very like protected and kind of prissy and just like things of that nature. I was a little high sedity Harlem girl, okay? So we just wasn't from the same lifestyle. Fast forward, we get together, I think like August, right before I leave to go to college. Why did I think that was valid? I don't know. Fast forward some more, we're together for a minute, but then like, because I'm away at school, things start to get a little hectic because he's insecure because he knows that he's not my type. See, the thing about me, I be telling people too much. I told him he wasn't my type. He knew that there was another guy that I was talking to around the time that we started talking that was my type, that I could have chose, but I chose him. So like, he was always just like insecure. Those were red flags off rip. I did not pay attention to them, of course, because I'm here now. So fast forward, I think I got pregnant at like 18, 19, probably 18. I think this was my second year in college, so I was 18, because I graduated high school when I was 16, turning 17. So I was young. We were not protecting ourselves, because I was only with him. Like, he was my dude, and I felt comfortable doing it. It was probably not the best. Well, I know it wasn't the best thing to do, because you're 18 having sex raw, like, you're gonna have a baby. So I ended up getting pregnant. Didn't know I was pregnant until I had a miscarriage. And the doctor was like, yeah, you were like 7 weeks. So that automatically screwed me up mentally, okay? A miscarriage doesn't matter if it's for a day, if you were pregnant for a day, if you were pregnant for a month, it doesn't matter. Like, it will mess with your psyche. So fast forward some more. Toxic things happen. We're breaking up, getting back together, because me, I'm very much a butterfly, and if I want to go, I'm going to go, and if I wanted to stay, I would stay. And that's just how I went about our relationship. Even though I felt like I loved him and I proposed to him, all of that, like, sis was bugging, okay? Let's just make it that simple. Sis was bugging. So we get back together for like the umpteenth time. Now I am, how old am I? 20. So we've been going back and forth for a minute, right? So I'm like 21. I've had two miscarriages? No, one miscarriage. 1 miscarriage and 2 abortions by this time. So the first abortion, I was early. It was before 3 months. And I went without my parents knowing. And he wanted me to have the baby. But I was like, no, because it was just too much going on. Like I said, I was in college. I wanted to continue a certain path. And a baby just wasn't in my future. Like, I'm not going to be 19, 20 with a baby. Then the second time I got an abortion, this was, I was past 3 months. So I had to get the 2-day procedure, which was horrible. When I tell you horrible, like, that is another thing that messed up my psyche. Like, being pregnant all those times and not keeping the baby or not being able to keep the baby definitely played a lot on my mental and what I should have and shouldn't have put up with. So now we get into I'm 22. We haven't been together for a while. It was a lot of mess. This man done had a whole baby with another chick in between us, being together, not together. Whole love triangle at this point, because he didn't want to leave her because he felt obligated. He said he didn't love her, but he loved her. They I think they still together. I honestly don't even know because I don't talk to him. Then, so my dumb self gets back with him oh, I don't care, whatever. I love him. We're going to make it work. Sis was bugging. So I'm 22. We were in the process of rekindling when I got pregnant. So it was very random, very just what the heck. That's what it was. I was 22. I think we were together for a whole week or 2 weeks, something absurd, because my mom left to go down south, so I would either be at his house or he would be with me for a whole week and a half, right? Of course, you're bound to get pregnant, Sade, because y'all are not using protection. We never used protection in our whole entire relationship, off and on. When I known him since I was 17, we didn't stop having sex together until I was 23. Yeah, 23. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So that's 7 years off and on. Bound to get pregnant. Okay. Still bugging. So life happens. Find out that I'm pregnant. My world shuts the hell down, okay? Because my mother got pregnant with me at 22. She had me at 23. So now I'm repeating the cycle. Generational curse. We're going to get into that in another podcast. So I'm just okay, what should I do? Should I not? I don't know. Should I keep it? Should I not keep it? But by this time, like I said, I already had 2 abortions and 1 miscarriage. So I was already pregnant 3 times. By that time, by the last time, I made a promise to myself that I was not getting another abortion. If I ever got pregnant, I'm keeping it regardless. I don't care. We just gonna figure it out, because I didn't want to do that to my body or my mind. My mind was already screwed up. I was emotionally traumatized. On top of the trauma and all of that was happening between me and him relationally, just within myself, and just having to go through those procedures and all of that, I made a vow that I would not get another abortion. So I already knew that I was keeping the baby. I just had to figure out how the hell was I going to tell my mother, one, and live life after this, because I've been in and out of college. I never finished my degree. Like, it's just a lot of back and forth. So, me thinking he already taking care of a kid that's not his. Another story for another podcast. Not biologically his. I'm like, okay, like, even before that, I always like envisioned him being a parent, being a father. So I'm like, all right, we gonna make it work. Girl, I was wrong, okay? I was completely wrong. You know what that nigga said? He said, I don't want no baby. I don't want to keep it. All these things, everything that you would not want to hear, he said. So I'm like, okay, is he bugging? Like, you're already taking care of somebody else's kid. Like, you don't want your own seed. Like, you don't see how God is giving you a second chance. And you don't see how God is giving you a chance to raise a human being that is biologically yours. And then come to find out, Ro was a boy. I'm like, you're having a whole son. Like, you know this little boy is going to come out looking like you. And you just really want to sit here and do this? Sis was bugging. So, basically, I ended up having to move from New York. I had my own apartment because my mom left me our apartment. I had to move from there at 6 months to New Orleans because he wasn't doing shit. He was playing games and he wasn't doing nothing. So fast forward, now I'm pregnant in New Orleans, starting all over, mourning the loss of the family that I thought I was going to have because he just couldn't step up to the plate. I'm pregnant by myself, went through a whole pregnancy by myself, except for, my parents and my close friends at the time. But, like, the father was not there. I went to the appointments by myself. I figured everything out by myself. Okay? So that's leading up to my pregnancy with Roa. I'm going to leave the part 2 for after I have Roa because things get a little juicy and I need to slow it down for y'all. I was just trying to lump sum a whole 7 years of chaos into 20 minutes. So if y'all are intrigued, stay tuned for part 2 because this is not a drill. This is not a joke. This is real life. This really happened to me. And nobody even knows. Like, a lot of people don't. My family doesn't even know this story. Like I said, I skimmed over a lot. A lot. I can get into detail later on, but it's about the kids right now. It's really not about me and his relationship. It's about how the baby came to be. So stay tuned for part 2. I'm going to be back. And I hope y'all are intrigued. Because it's getting real. It's real life. But I love y'all. It's Bam. And I'm signing.